Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
For those of you who haven't been here for a while or it's the first time, the Center for Creative Living is about representing the energy that we call Creator. It is not about a specific religion. The Center for Creative Living is here that says we are all children of the one Creator, and whatever path you follow is welcome here. And we have people just about every faith who not only attends but watches this on what is it called? Zoom. I want to say Netflix. I know it wasn't Netflix.
And YouTube.
Whatever they watch us on. And because we have people in our congregation that were raised Jewish, that were raised Muslim, that were raised Catholic, that were raised... we have some people who were raised in cults. We have people who have been raised pretty wild. We even have some people who have been raised on Native American reservations. So there are so many different peoples that come here because they are looking for a place to be free to think the thoughts that they want to think without somebody really telling them what they have to think or how to think it. So this is a free thinking congregation. And that's why we have a lot of different things going on. If you decide you wanted to jump up and dance, that's perfectly okay. But invite somebody else to join you. Because we feel that each person is a part of this community. And we're going to start off with a prayer with our Associate Pastor. And please welcome Reverend Anna Corbin.
Let's hope the prayer comes through.
You what?
I said, let's hope the prayer comes through.
I'm going to sit down right here.
You can sit down right there.
Okay. I'll be sure, and I'll be sure I can get back up.
Okay.
Good.
There we go. Okay, here you want me to stand right in front of you?
There we
Give me a
go.
good view there. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Ann.
It's nice to see faces out here. It's nice to see and know that there are faces out there that we can't see, but we're loving and we're happy that you're here as we work on the Wi-Fi and we get things going with our little glitchies that occur. We all know that it's all good. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
Rosalie
right.
knows
Rosalie knows it's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. Because Rosalie knows nothing but love. And really, that's what we're all here for, because love is really what the Creator is about. Love is what everything is about. So let's start this morning with a prayer about love and balance, I think is where we're at today. So Sean, would you mind closing down the lights a little? I'm good. Corky, are you still good? You can still see?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So let's close our eyes and take a nice deep breath in. Breathe in. And as you're breathing in, I want you to think of all the beautiful things in your life, your family, your loved ones' prosperity, all the joy of being together, all the joy of being here in a technical way as well, virtually. I want you to think about light and joy and all that there is. Hold on to that beautiful energy. And now let's just breathe out with a little sigh. Let's let go of anything that's been weighing on you, whatever that might be, because you can set that aside for now. In an invisible or imaginary basket that's sitting right next to you, you can take all of your worries and all of your angst, and you can put it there because our Creator will take it and transmute it for you. You do not have to take it back. Breathe in one more time, and breathe out. Dearest Creator, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our lives, and we thank you for this opportunity to be together. What a beautiful morning and a beautiful time for us to be together, even in this incredible heat that so many people are dealing with right now. We give thanks for balance in our lives, for it's when we find balance that we can take those moments where we feel like we might be falling into some sort of hate or some sort of anger, and we can breathe in your love, and we can know that we get back into balance again, that there is nothing in this world worth anger that harms ourselves, because Creator, you know, and you teach us that when we are angry or when we are feeling less than, we are doing harm to our own bodies, our souls, our minds. And we know that we want to be in the love energy instead. Creator, you remind us, along with our beautiful Virginia scene, that we are the light of the world. We are the ones that bring light and love. And as we look at each person, as we pass them by, whether you're wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask, and you're in a grocery store and your eyes are smiling and you can see that love. And Creator, you're standing right there with us, helping us to carry that love through. And Creator, thank you for giving us the balance in each of our chakras, so that we can know that we can take our root chakra and we can take anything that we're feeling and we can earth it. We can send it into the earth, the energies. In the sacral, our emotional energies are the same thing. We can send that back down into the earth as we get balanced. In our power center, we have confidence, we have love, we have loving energies for ourselves, because as we love ourselves, we can love everybody else. We also know that in our hearts, we are filled with unconditional love all the time. The unconditional love that carries us through all the time, Creator, that carries us through because of you having our backs, because of you always being there with us, Creator. And then we have our throat energy, which it gives us an opportunity to speak and communicate clearly, and speak what we need to speak in a loving manner. Because when we speak in a loving manner, we get loving reactions as well. And we have our third eye energy, which also gives us the energy to know that we are intuitive and that we can feel your love, Creator, your love that we so appreciate. We thank you so much for that, for all the unconditional love you bring to us. And then, of course, in our crown energy, the crown energy that is you transmuting into us and giving us information, letting us know that we are perfect. No matter how imperfect we may feel at the moment, we are always perfect. And we thank you, Creator, for that. We thank you so much for all of the energy and love that we have as we continue on in this interesting world that we're in right now. We are dealing with the heat. We are dealing with anger. We're dealing with a lot of different things, but you are right here with us, Creator. You remind us that we truly are unconditional love. And thank you so much for still protecting and holding on to all of our first responders who are working so hard and keeping us protected as we deal with different things that might be happening out in Mother Earth right now, fires and floods and hurricanes and anything else that may be out there, earthquakes. Hold us tight and let us know that we are here. We are loved by you. And today is a perfect day. And with that, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Thank you. It's so good.
Wonderful. And what's happening with the Wi-Fi, Eduardo?
It's back.
It's back. Okay. Well, that's pretty exciting. You never know quite what's going to be happening. And thank you so much for bringing it back for us. It's so great to have people in the room that know something about computers.
Wouldn't it be? I mean, yes, it is.
For me, it's so one of those things. I push a button. If it works, I go, "Yay! Oh, great! It's working." If it doesn't, I yell, "Corky! What's happening? It's not working." And Dr. Ayleen, when would you like to do a meditation? Do you want to do it before or after my talk? You have a choice today. This is our wonderfully well-educated doctor over here.
Look
considering this is the first time I'm hearing I'm doing it, sure, anytime. Whenever you would like.
Okay, well, why don't we do it after the talk? How does that
Okay.
sound? So, remind me, okay?
I'll have one thought up by then.
Okay. Sounds good. That's a woman who didn't look at the program, I can tell.
Where's my...
She came in and we put her to work. And if any of you need a program, Mel is here with them in hand, so you can pass them out. Next week, we're going to have a wonderful Rev Doti Boon who's going to be speaking. And if you haven't heard Joyce, wow, she is a powerhouse and fantastic. She's going to be talking about the power of your imagination. And as many of us know, our imagination is so incredible. It can create just about anything. So we're so excited to have her here. Then after that, Corky, and then is Mary Gary going to be speaking after Joyce?
It's Joyce singing, then Mary Gary, then Tiffany Keeper, and then Monica Spolder.
Okay, so we've got a big roster of people that are going to be speaking.
Oh, and Janet Childs.
And Janet Childs. Each one coming up with something a little bit different that opens you up to what's available out there, what's imaginable out there. I want to talk about today this whole idea of it's okay to hate. I don't know where people got that, but you can watch kids on a playground and they're running around saying, I hate you. Where did they get it? They got it from home. Why? When I was very young, one day I said to my father, who happened to be an attorney, I said, you know, I love snow. And I hate heat. And he said, Dottie, you can't love or hate something that can't love or hate you back. And anytime I said I love something, I had to think, is this an inanimate object? Is this something that can reflect me? And it really stopped you when you think of that. What is it when you say you hate something? Is this something that you really think is so important to take all your energy to put on somebody or something because you don't like it? You're going to run into things that you don't like. But let's look into that. Life is too short to hate. And what does that mean? When your emotions are intense, you immediately know that there's something going on. You're going to feel intense about things. But get away from that of they're bad. I've shared this before, but I want to share it again. I was raised by an attorney. We lived in a little desert town called Lancaster, which is in way down there on the desert. And he was a charter member of the NACP. He also was attorney that represented the Ku Klux Klan. And somebody said, he can't do that. And my dad said, everybody's entitled to be heard. Everybody in the United States is entitled to a hearing. And I'm here to make sure everyone gets a fair trial. And being raised that way, being raised that we are all children of the Creator. My history has been, I was baptized Episcopalian, I was baptized Methodist, I was baptized Catholic, and I ended up being a member of the Baha'i faith, and then my mother got a divorce and married a fellow who was Jewish. So I have all of these wonderful backgrounds of many different things, and you know what? They all say basically the same thing. And one of the things I found about hate is it usually starts out with arguing. How many of you have an argument that you can remember that you won? Okay. Usually it's your point of view and it's their point of view. And you're sure yours is right. Well, why is it that you have to be right? Why can't you look at their side? Just take a chance and find out what they're talking about. You don't need to argue about things because it's not going to change anything. And one of the things I found about that is people get an idea about something and they are rip-roaring mad. I was in my office one day and a man came up to my doorway and said, Doti Boon, you're no good blankety blankety blank. And I looked at him and I said, okay. He said, no, well, what I mean is, you told my wife something that you shouldn't have told her, and I'm here to tell you how no good you are. And I said, okay. And he thought a minute and he said, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. And I said, okay. And he said, do you think you could counsel me? And I said, okay. What happened? I honored him. You've got an opinion, I honor that opinion. I found okay as one of the strongest words you can use. Because it says, I'm here, I hear you. Wouldn't it have been easy for me to call security if we had any, and to say, yeah, that's it, you're out of here. I don't have to listen to you. But no, that's not what you do. You stop blaming other people for their attitude and their energies, and you accept who they are. Wouldn't the world be a lot better if people accepted each other and stopped saying their way is not right, they're bad, they're no good? Now, I'm not talking about a criminal element that might be hurting people. And I'm talking about the everyday person who has these feelings that they have to be right all the time. They can't be angry unless they really dislike you, and they dislike you because you're not thinking the same way they are. You're not thinking the same way about politics, you're not thinking the same way about religion, you're not thinking the same way about sexual differences, you're not thinking the same way. And every time you're not thinking the same way, they're angry, they're upset. Well, so you're not going to change their mind. Listen to what they have to say and say, okay. And because, do you know that each one of you is a child of God? Each one of you comes from the same God. And each one of us seems to think that we have to defend God and say, my God's better than your God. Listen to what somebody has to say. You might feel like, well, that's different. That's an interesting way. When we talk about different paths, and we started today's service with Mother, Father, God, we're not limiting Creator to a gender. In fact, when I talk to people, a lot of people say, well, God's got the face of an angel, a female angel. Their idea of the Creator is angelic, and that's wonderful. But you don't want to argue and tell them they're wrong. Because when you do, you create a difference between the two of you. And what happens when we start arguing? When we get angry, and then we get angrier, and then finally we say, I hate you. Where does that come from? It comes from that little voice from way back when to playground time. When somebody stole the ball that you were playing with, or somebody ran away with a jump rope. And you stop and you think, no, I don't. This is not about hatred. This is about not approving of something somebody does. Stop using that word because it's so negative, and you know, as a child of God, you don't need to act that way. You can find other ways to act. And I want to help you with some other ways so you can do that. As you probably realize, everybody in this church has a different viewpoint. You can tell by the clothes we wear. You can tell by if we're wearing masks or we're not wearing masks. You can tell if we're wearing hats or we're not wearing hats. We all have different ideas and different choices. Isn't that wonderful? I don't know if you've ever watched The Handmaid's Tale, where they're all dressed and look just the same. It takes away their energies, right? That's why it's that way. Here, everybody dresses and acts the way they want to. And this whole argument about COVID-19 and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, I bet you could argue with your next door neighbor and they're never going to change. And you could take that argument and turn it into telling them they're no good. Have you ever changed because somebody told you you were no good? Have you ever said, oh, thank you so much for telling me I'm no good? I've always thought that. No, you don't. You immediately stand up and say, wait a minute. I deserve to have my own thoughts. And so when you think about that, the uncomfortable truth is that we all have feelings of anger, but we don't have to take it further to make the other person wrong. There's such a growing divide in the country. 180 million people can't be wrong. They're different. They're not bad. They're different. It's okay to have people different than you. That's the most glorious thing in California particularly, is looking around this room. I have people here from Canada. I have people who were born in different countries. I have people who have been born in different areas of the country. This melting pot is such a great place to be because there are so many different people. And we can't say, you're wrong. You're wrong for being born in another country. You're wrong for the color of your skin. You're wrong because of your religion. You're wrong because of your relationships with certain people. Stop it. Everybody has their right to be them and a right to be loved and appreciated, not despised, and not at all in any way hated. I want to tell you a story about my Uncle Howard. My Uncle Howard Durman, was a home builder, and he lived in the San Joaquin Valley. And one day he was driving his truck, one of those big trucks that carries lumber, and he was driving through the streets of Lodi. And all of a sudden, a little 3-year-old boy rode his big wheel right out in front of my uncle's truck, and he couldn't stop. And he hit that kid. And by the time he got out of his truck, the mother of the child was screaming, and the father was picking up the baby and carrying it to the sidewalk, and someone had called an ambulance. And my Uncle Howard was so distraught and so upset, and he doesn't know what to do to help the family. And the mother looks at him and says, do you want to go with us in the ambulance? And my Uncle Howard said, I would love to. And in the ambulance, she held his hand. And I cry when I talk about this because it was the most amazing story. And said, you didn't mean to do that. And our son is with Jesus. Now, my Uncle Howard was not a Christian. He'd never met anybody like this before. And when they got to the morgue, and they said goodbye to their baby, the mother turned to him and said, Howard, would you like to have dinner with us? What happened? Shouldn't she have been angry, frustrated, mad, screaming, yelling, tearing her hair up? Her youngest child had just been killed by this man. And she invited him home to dinner. And while he was sitting eating dinner, he looked around and said, who are you people? And she said, we're Seventh-day Adventists. And he'd always heard scornful things said about the Seventh-day Adventists. And he said, tell me about it. And she sat there, and that evening they talked about it. And my uncle, being a home builder, built 7 churches for the Seventh-day Adventists after he joined the church. That woman and that mom and dad and the whole family never made him wrong, never felt hatred towards this man. Instead, they talked to him about their faith. And he said, I've never met people who believe that strongly in God. How many of you can do that? I have people that say to me, I'm not going to talk to the next door neighbor. You know what they did? They borrowed my lawnmower, didn't go back, and I hate them. And you think, wait a minute. Go knock on the door and ask for your lawnmower back. You don't have to take it to that step of hating somebody. Every time when I think of something somebody might have done to me, I think of Uncle Howard. I used to be proud of the fact that there was only one person in the world I didn't like. And then I decided to forgive her. But have you ever done that? Have you ever had somebody you don't like?
Yeah.
Forgive them. You think about what it is that happens. What does it take to forgive somebody? How much energy does it take? For some people, it takes a lot. You have to think about what happens if I forgive them. What happens to me if I forgive them? The only thing that keeps me going is my dislike for them. Stop and look at that. Is that something that you've learned in church? Is that something you've learned from your parents? Some of us do. Some people I know have learned from their parents not to trust somebody who looks different than they do, not to trust somebody who speaks in a different language. Some of you learned that as children, but it's time to let it go. Remember, we're all children of the same Creator, the same God. We talk about all of these things that are going on, and it becomes contagious. It's like a disease. It's like in this pandemic, where it's a disease that people get. So what are you told? Don't touch somebody, don't cough in their face, wear a mask, take care of you. Then there's people that say, I don't want to do that. You don't need to hang out with those people, but you don't need to hate them. Just say, oh, they think differently. They do things differently. I don't think that's somebody I want to be around right now. It's the same with politics. I have, in my family, I'm the eldest of 10. In my family, I have everybody who's different politics. The different thoughts, different ways they do things. And we all love each other. We don't get together and make each other wrong. We appreciate each other. So instead of falling into that trap, I'm right and you're wrong, which is real easy to do. Stop and say, I've got an opinion and you've got an opinion. Very easy to do. Your opinion's different than mine. How many of you have ever read Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift? Isn't it interesting when they have the little enders and the big enders? And this was a war that was going on between the Lilliputians and the Blueficans. And what happened is when they ate their soft-boiled eggs, one group of people said you have to top off the little end of the egg to eat the soft-boiled egg. And the other said, oh, no, you have to use the big egg, you top that off, and you eat that egg. And they went to war. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But don't you do the same thing? Don't you believe that your way's the only way? And if they don't believe it, you'll go to war for your thoughts. Now, I'm not talking about who's right or who's wrong. What I'm saying is each one of you can eat the egg. And it's the same way in life. You can eat, devour, cook, prepare anything you want. But it doesn't mean it's the only way. Have you thought of this? If everybody thought the way I did, they'd all be living in my house. Right? They just move in. We think just like you do, Dottie. We don't like any of those other people and we're going to come live with you. No. That I have my own opinions, you have your own opinions, and they're so wonderful. So every time you start thinking about, how do I feel about a certain subject? Say, am I stuck on being a big ender or a little ender? Well, what am I doing? There's always a different way of handling any situation. But anger and disagreement and arguments don't take care of it. I have people fanning themselves. Is it getting warm in here again?
It's just, what,
I'm looking at Corky. I'll look at Sean instead. Hi, Sean. What do you think? You going to turn on a little bit of air?
I know, I look up and everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
What?
Figure They're in charge of the thermostat.
Any paperwork for fanning themselves. So. Yeah, that's
So if you want a more peaceful life, a more prosperous life, a life that you enjoy, start looking at all the beautiful people around you. Okay? Start thinking about, wow, I'm good at what I do. That person might not be great at what they do, but we can get together and put our heads together and come up with something. Okay? Now, talking about putting your heads together and coming up with something, Reverend Ann is going to pass around. And if you want to read yours, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But we're going to give you some people that you're probably going to recognize that have talked about peace. What?
They could probably take two.
They can probably take two.
Want to?
If you don't like the one you've got, raise your hand. We'll give you another one. It's that easy. There we go. And if you would like to share it, we'd love to hear it. Because
One from Rosemary. Oh, she's gonna take yours.
we're going to find different ways of looking at peace and a different way of thinking of, okay, I want to get rid of the hate. And I want to start thinking about how to help people. Because life is too short to hate. And Sean, do you want to, and Mel and Chris, do you want to get one? Okay. Yeah. Corky and Ed, would you like one?
I'm coming around.
Rosalie, you got one. Our newest member. There she is. Yay! Yeah, you know what to do with it. Yes, that's exactly what you do with it. You smile and wave it.
Or eat it.
Yeah, either one.
Take it. You want more than one? Or another? Oh, I like it.
If you want.
I'll take another one.
Okay? You want? You're running out there. Okay. You want to leave or do you want to take another one?
Okay. Okay, and who would like to read theirs first?
I'd like to.
Okay, go.
This is from William Shakespeare. It says, the wicked envy and hate. It is their way of admiring.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, Ed, did you take one?
No, but I was getting one. Fear of something is at the root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater.
Whoa. Hate within will destroy the hater. Amy, what you get?
We have just enough religion to make us hate, but not enough to make us love one another.
Whoa. Okay.
Jonathan Swift.
Jonathan Swift? Oh, okay, April.
God is light, not darkness. God is love, not hate. God is truth, not untruth. God alone is great. Mahatma Gandhi.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Yes. There you go.
Sometimes people aren't hating on you because they feel a certain way about themselves. They just don't know how to be happy for you. You won't hear? The day my soul cried, Amen.
Thank you so much. Okay. Diego, do you want to read yours? You don't have to. Martin, do you want to read yours? Okay. Okay, who else? Yes, James.
We are less likely to love someone just because they love us than we are to hate someone just because they hate us.
Ooh, who wrote that?
Oh, we're less likely to love someone.
Yeah, so you're more likely to hate someone because they hate you rather than
Love somebody
someone.
because they love you.
And who wrote that?
Mokokoma Mokoona.
Wow, okay. Can you read yours, Christina?
Yeah.
Islam is a faith that brings comfort to 1 billion people around the world. It's a faith that has made brothers and sisters of every race. It's a faith based upon love, not hate. George W. Bush.
George W. Bush. Yeah. Okay.
I have another one too.
Yes. Oh, you buried that one, I see.
Because she ate the first one. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. Yes, Ayleen.
I think that hate is a thing, a feeling that can only exist where there is no understanding. Tennessee Williams.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
The opposite of love is not hate, it is fear. Gary Zukav.
Gary Zukav. I met Gary Zukav in Mount Shasta. Yeah. Very fascinating man.
Okay.
Yes, I mean Annie. Sorry.
We're interchangeable now. Hate always sells well, but to repeat trade and the long pole, happiness is sounder merchandise. Robert Heinlein.
Whoa. Okay. Sean.
Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Coretta Scott King.
Oh, Coretta Scott King. Yeah.
Love is natural, hate is unnatural. Michael Bassey Johnson, Song of a Nature Lover.
Wow. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, James.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King Jr.
Great. Yes.
Life isn't about falling in love as much as it is about learning to get over hatred.
Very good. Who wrote that?
Sangeeta Baruha.
Very good. Okay. Yes.
One more.
That's great. You have 3 people there. You're the spokesperson.
There is more for us to gain through love than hate. Susie Kaza, rise up and salute the sun.
Wow. Rise up and salute the sun. Yes, Mel.
A man who lives not by what he loves, but what he hates is a sick man.
Oh.
It's Victor Hugo.
Wow. Okay, any more? Lauren, did you want to read yours?
I was born to join in love, not hate. That is my nature. Sophocles.
Sophocles? Mm-hmm. Very good. All of these great people writing about not hating. Okay. And one of the things that I have found is that it's so easy to love. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, isn't it easier to say, it's a beautiful day, than to say, oh, now I've got to get up? Think about that. I've heard people say, I hate mornings. Well, what are you going to do about it?
Call it something else.
You call it something else, yeah, you can.
Take ibuprofen before you go to bed.
But think about that, wanting to hate something is so difficult on you. It's not just difficult on the person that you're hating, but what it takes from you. It's like it takes part of your soul. So when you think of saying to someone, I hate you, know that they're not the enemy. People in your life are not the enemy. They have different opinions. And start looking, what are those different opinions? There are so many different ways that you can analyze your relationship. And think of, what are they? Yes, Chris.
I guess I have an original.
Okay.
As I'm sitting here, I'm realizing that hate clouds my thinking. And so if I want to proceed clearly, then I have to put hate and rancor and vengeance to the side.
Yes, it clouds you, doesn't it? Hate clouds your viewpoint of just about anything. Thank you for sharing, Chris. Okay. Has anybody else ever had that feeling that you dislike somebody so much that you wish they were dead? Have you heard somebody say that? I wish you were dead. How would you feel if they dropped dead right then? You'd feel guilty for the rest of your life. You would not be able to look in the mirror and say, you're a beautiful child of God. You'd look in the mirror and say, you just killed somebody. Think of that. Hatred can kill because it makes people so angry over sometimes such little things. And so every time you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to deal with that person, say to them, okay, you're getting by in life the best you can. Okay. Yes, Anne.
When I was 13,
Stand up so people can hear you.
when I was 13 years old, I was a very, very angry teenager. And my mother and I had been having a fight, and she was getting something out of the cabinet that was very high up. And I screamed at her, I hate you, I wish you were dead. And a bottle of syrup got knocked over, and it fell, and it broke across her arm, and she started to bleed, and I freaked out. Screamed, please don't die, I'm sorry. So fast does that karma work. I never have said anything like that to anybody since.
Yeah, that's what hate can do, that fast. And now, Reverend Dr. Ayleen, are you ready to lead us in a meditation?
Are you going to play our music?
No, I'm going to end with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I am. Hold on.
Do we want to do collection first, or do we want to do
We'll do the collection after the meditation. We have another computer genius over there. Last week we lined up geniuses all around the building, and the sound was still off. Finally got it taken care of, and thank all of you for last week of being able to give us your energy to get things fixed. I'm flirting with this little one. She is such a doll. It's so great to have a baby in the house.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm going to sit right back here. You can be anywhere you want to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you, Sean. All right, we're gonna have everybody take a nice deep breath in and let it out. And as you let that out, let anything weighing on your body, your mind, or your spirit in this moment be set aside. Because in this place and in this space, you don't need to hold on to it. So take another deep breath in, and as you let it go, feel yourself settling more firmly in the chair. Feel your connection to the earth, both physically and the energy of it. Allow yourself to relax. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hands become relaxed. Allow yourself to focus on the core within yourself. And consider the chakras within your body. First, go to the root chakra, the vibrant red, place of security and safety. And allow that red to brighten as if it's a flower that's opening. Feel that sense of safety move through you. And as that red color begins to twirl upward, feel it connect with the next chakra up, orange, that holds our passion, our intensity, and can also be a place of us being in connection with how we walk in this world, in whatever way we choose. And as the red and the orange blend together, they move up through yellow, your solar plexus, that bridge between your upper chakras and your lower chakras, that place of absolute balance, and allow that sense of balance to begin to weave in with the yellow, with the orange and the red, and then move up to your heart and allow your heart to open up, because this is a safe place for it to do that. Allow yourself to find that place of gentleness, both towards yourself and for others. And as that green blends in, each color stays vibrant in itself and yet brightens as each next color connects to it. We move up to our throat chakras, where blue weaves in with the other colors, and we feel that freedom to express ourselves, that freedom to speak our truth and to be in our truth. And as we move up to the indigo of the third eye, as we sit and look at our connection to all things everywhere, our connection to the entire universe, allow that to expand and move outward, feeling the energy of those around you as you move beyond the walls, feeling the earth and sky itself. And then we move up to the purple of the crown chakra, being able to open that up to our vision of Creator and the universe, however we each envision that. And as all these colors blend together, they form a rainbow. Now picture yourself walking along a street. Maybe it's in a busy town, maybe it's in a huge city, or maybe it's just along a rural road, and you encounter someone, and you can feel their anger. You can see frustration in their face. And as you open your mouth, your rainbow comes out and envelopes them. Your rainbow surrounds them, and as they open their mouth angrily, their own rainbow comes out. And you see them soften, and the two rainbows blend. And you walk with this person and you meet other people who are carrying burdens, who are sad, who are frightened. And you open your mouth and your rainbow comes out. And your companion opens their mouth and their rainbow comes out. And it connects with the rainbows of others. And as each person opens their mouth, a rainbow comes out. And those rainbows blend and harmonize. And you keep walking along, and you see a tree, and you see the beauty of that tree, and you feel the life of that tree, and you open your mouth, and your rainbow comes out, and it moves through the branches and through the leaves, and the energy of the tree moves out and embraces you, and your rainbow flows down into the earth, and you become one with all of Mother Earth. And then your rainbow goes out through the tops of the branches and connects to the sky and the stars. And as your rainbow and the rainbows of others blend and move, it becomes a symphony. You hear the music of your rainbow, and your rainbow's music is unique to you, and yet it blends in with everyone else's. And as you feel your rainbow expanding, you feel it touch the spirits of all beings on this world, and any that are in fear, any that are in anger, you breathe your rainbow into them. And as you breathe your rainbow into all that is, you feel a rainbow coming all around you. And it is a rainbow that is as old as time. It goes beyond any essence of now or then. It has always been and always will be. And you feel that powerful rainbow becoming one with yours. And as you resonate with that cosmic rainbow, you are one with everything. You are everything and nothing at the same time. There is no anger. There is no fear. There is simply the symphony of the rainbows. And each rainbow is a beautiful note that blends together in an amazing song. And your rainbow, while it blends with others, it is still uniquely yours. No matter who you encounter, your rainbow comes and shows itself. And they respond and the energies become gentle. Now suddenly I want you to picture yourself in front of a mirror. See yourself. Look at all of yourself. And as you open your mouth, your rainbow comes out and fills what you see in that mirror. You see your colors. You see the light within you. You also see that cosmic rainbow brightening yours. And that rainbow says, I will never leave you. I am you. I will always be a part of you. Now take another breath and let it out. And as you gaze into that mirror, I want you to think in your mind that when you open your mouth and your rainbow comes out, you think the words, I am the only me in all of the universe. I am the only me that has ever been and the only me that will ever be. And what that does is it makes me sacred. It makes me special. And most of all, it makes me necessary. Because as the only me in all of the universe would not be complete or the same without me and my rainbow. And I want you to look at yourself, looking back at yourself. See the love in your eyes. See the acceptance. And that sense of acceptance spreads out from you, touching all beings everywhere. In this moment, you are at peace. In this moment, there is no fear. And in order to return to this moment, all you need to do is breathe in and breathe out your rainbow. For as it shines within you, it shines within you. You are one with all of creation, and creation is at one with you. There is no hate. There is only understanding. There are no harsh words. There are only rainbows. And as you shine yours more brightly, you teach others to shine theirs. One more deep breath in. And let it out. The rainbow is yours, and you are the rainbow.
Lovely meditation. Thank you so very much, Dr. Ayleen. That was fantastic. Now, each one of you should have a program. And what we're going to do is we're going to read what we say when we go to collect our donation. And it's the Sacrament of Giving. And it goes like this.
Giving to the ministry from which we receive our spiritual support and nurturing is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that the Spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of our lives.
And I want to thank you all so very much for doing that. Now, right now, one of our wonderful members of our congregation is recovering from surgery, and that is Reverend Ronnie Grigsby. And Ronnie, we did a CD with Ronnie, and with all sorts of wonderful people. One of them is Ayleen Augustine, who wrote a song called "Life is Too Short to Hate," and we'd like to play that for you.
My most amazing celebration was the realization that I didn't have to hate or hold other folks accountable for my actions. I could stop hating and continue loving.
Let me tell you about how I see the world today. I see a world of peace, love, joy, and happiness. We were born into this life without pain, anger, or strife. Hate is something no one comes by honestly. Little children learn to hate from people just like you and me. Why can't we all just get along? Spend this last words of an unsung song. Life too short to hate. Oh my dear, you hurt me so bad. All I do is love you, all you do is make me sad. Forgiveness has never been easy for me. I give myself the gift of love and we're both set free. Oh why can't we all just get along? Live my life to do right, how teach you don't so wrong. Life too short to hate. In the beginning, we found out that we're all products of love. We should teach our children, along with math and reading, how to love each other regardless of who they are or where they come from. Because life's too short for hatred. Life's too short for prejudice. You see, the Creator created us as products of love. Life's too short to hurt. Life's too short to hate. Not too short to hate.
Okay. That was written by Ayleen Augustine, and we have an entire CD of Ronnie. And if any of you are interested, let me know, and I'll give you a CD. Yes.
I want one.
You want one? Okay, we'll get you one. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you all very much. Usually we stand and hold hands, but during this time of just opening up our doors, where instead we hope you have a chance to say hello to everybody and thank them for being here. And I want to thank you very much for joining us and hope to see you next Sunday. Thank you. Now, could you introduce your family? This is here he is, Diego, said he liked that. Yeah. If anybody else wants a CD, just raise your hand. We pressed 1,000 of them, and I think we have 800 left. So. Yeah, she wants one. Yeah.
She was air drumming like crazy.
So wonderful. In the back, we have coffee, we have box drinks, we have sweet rolls, we have brownies, we have cheese, we have. Corky went to the store this morning and went crazy. So please, please pick up something on your way out and join us to pull your chair around and have a chance to talk and meet people. Thank you again for joining us and for creativity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.